everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of El Koki Otaku. Today, my special guest with very new, funny, lovely, and hyper character, such as Kinu Tanuki in my oh, Tanukikouji, in my dear friend Nokotan, Ling Xiang in Flower and Asura, Kiku Hoshimi in Call of the Night Season 2 finally is here, and Lemon in 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. With so many funny characters, today we welcome Nickolette Kong. Nickolette, welcome!
Hi.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation today.
Thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure just speaking with you beforehand too. I'm already having a great time.
I'm happy to hear that. How do you feel so far having in this lineup of character when you have like a very hyper lines of characters? Suddenly you are right now going a very interesting character, a little bit darker.
Yeah, it's been really, really fun. Kind of the common thread of like these characters that I've kind of noticed is if they're not like bubbly, like with the exception of like Kiku, right? They're all very expressive and dynamic. And that's kind of what I feel I excel at, being extraordinarily dynamic in my pitches, my tones, my energy, emotional range, and stuff like that. And I owe that to my theater background for sure. And so stepping into the shoes of all of these different characters has been really, really fun for me. And almost kind of cozy, kind of at home. Because I think you've noticed by now, I'm a very naturally colorful and expressive person. So
we're about to jump into that because talking about colors, you have a very famous anime series. Many people know it because they really watch it. Other people know it because they dance the famous song on TikTok somehow, talking about my dear friend Nokotan. Well, you had the main character of Kinu. So there's a lot of people, even that there's a lot of people who dance this song with naka 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 na. But they have no clue what this series is about. For those influencers who haven't danced without knowing what the heck the series is about, how do you describe this anime series?
it's hard to describe.
I know. It's always there.
Hard to describe. The way that I've described it before is deer.
And
So I can expand on that. My dear friend Nokotan follows our dear friend Nokotan. She's a deer girl ? And Koshitan, who's like this perfect student, role model, class president, etc. And it just follows their friendships and the friendships that they make around them by forming the Deer Club, kind of roping the whole student council into that friendship and dynamic, and just it's just a really goofy time. It's a really fun show. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but if you like things like Nichijou or what's it called? Ordinary Life of High School Boys. It kind of has that that tone of like an absurdist slice of life type beat, but it's a lot more absurd.
absolutely. And that's the key. I think that's the key word. Absurd.
Absurdity.
It's
To the point of surrealism, perhaps.
What is
Avant-garde.
it is great for those ones who are tired, want to take a break, and you want to sit
Yes.
down to laugh without
It
thinking
is
about who is this.
brain off.
It have to make sense. The answer is no, because nothing makes sense here. Do I need to know the background story? No, just sit down,
I do
watch
feel,
it.
I do feel like there's something a little nefarious going on though. There's like the
Really?
undertones of like the deer cult, you know. You know, Nokotan is essentially dear Jesus, so it's kind of like
Which
who knows?
I it remind me a lot of uh there's a big niche like Psycho Mob 100. Is one a good example that
Oh,
it's for a it is like a cult. There's people who like this type of nonsense that makes sense, but it's nonsense, but they're fun. It doesn't need to make sense.
yeah.
Even the Psycho Mob have a very structured story, have been evolving,
hmm
and who knows what's waiting for us in the future with this series.
I
We
do
need
think part of the charm of it all is that Nokotan doesn't care. Just Nokotan doesn't care about anything or about that. And it's like kind of, that's like the duality because everyone else is noticing the absurdity. Well, mainly Koshitan. Everyone else doesn't really care. And Nokotan doesn't care either. And so that's
it,
kind of the fun of it.
and it killed me because I'm the kind of person that I worry about everything.
Me
Worry
too.
about everything, and Nogotan, she's so space cadet. She's like, okay, it's fine. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a consequence. Oh well, just one. Oh my gosh, she break my nerve. It made me stress. Just if I had a friend like that, I don't know what will happen with me.
So, to be honest, Trina Duhart, the voice of Nokotan, she has a little bit of that energy. Even whenever we go to like cons and stuff, she is doing her own thing. She's in her own world. But that's what makes I think Nokotan so great, and Trina did such a good job with her of bringing that kind of nonchalance and kind of um this kind of confidence of just existing and not
Right.
being ashamed or concerned about the way she is.
Just go with the flow. And talking about friendship, people who's surrounding us. How did you describe your character?
Kinu Tanukikouji, they also call her Tanuki. Um, she is a giant rat's nest of anxiety, right? and
That's
and and so like I resonated with that aspect of her a lot actually cuz I am very like her, hypercritical, very anxious, very like trying to be on top of things all the time, and she's a little bit of a mess of her own design, but uh but in that is a person who deeply deeply cares about everything, cares about the things that she does, cares about doing a good job, and that kind of integrity I also resonate with a lot. And so the first time that they played like the animation whenever you're dubbing, because I'm sure and voice actors have told you, you don't know what you're doing until you're in the booth, right?
right.
And so the first time I got to preview the scene, and it's her giving these papers to Koshitan, and it's just like, at first it's all cute, and it's like, I have these papers. And then Koshitan realizes that, some of it is out of order, and she totally flips out. She totally goes like 0 to 100. And I'm just like, she's just like me for real. She's just like me for real. Like the little thing that she does whenever she's like stressing, the I do that all the time. Like with my friends. I'm just like, "Ugh." And so, she's a character that really just was me, but times like 100. Maybe not even 100, maybe times 10.
So, there were any challenge or difficulty doing this character or keeping your real personality outside this character? Like, let me make sure. Oh my gosh, right now this is Nickolette. Oh my. And the director like, no, that's Nickolette. It's supposed to be. Did anything like that happen?
Um to be honest, the fact that she resonated with me so much, I think, was more of a boon rather than like a con. Because this was also my anime debut. So I was never in an anime show. I've never had to act in such a dynamic way, like in animation anime, because most of my work beforehand was a lot of like audiobooks, kind of more promo stuff, and it's not as dynamic. And in anime especially, I like to use the term operatic. There's kind of this drama to it that even separates it from like Western animation or indie animation, you know? So this was the first time I felt like I could stretch, like, and like do whatever I wanted. And I think Kinu was kind of the perfect outlet for that. So I didn't feel like I necessarily had to separate myself from the character, because I believe that acting in of itself is bringing, this reality to imaginary circumstances. And so it is an extension of yourself if like, these are the experiences that I've had, this is my psychology, what would I do, right? And for Tanukikouji, her psychology was a lot more synonymous to mine, which made it a lot easier to kind of step into those shoes as an actor. And so I was not concerned in the least about sounding too much like me, because she was me. Like, she is me. And like, I do understand that, the separation between character and actor, it is healthy. And like, I say she is me, but like, I am not 100% Kinu Tanukikouji, right? And Kinu Tanukikouji is not 100% me. But, it's these, for me, it's coming to understand this person and embracing her for who she is, and, channeling that, manifesting that into an extension of myself rather than, being entirely myself, right?
Right.
I hope that answers the question. That was kind of...
Of course. And also, guys, for those who haven't seen my dear friend Nokotan, and you guys wondering where can I watch this series? It's not on Crunchyroll, it's not on Netflix, it's not on Highlight. It's on
Amazon Prime, but it did release on my birthday last year on Crunchyroll.
Really? Find it on Dub?
Yeah.
There you go, guys.
It's on Crunchyroll and Amazon Prime.
It gave me a hard time when it was big trend, like, where is this series? And suddenly I'm like, Amazon Prime? Like, oh, it's on Amazon Prime. So, guys, well, believe it or not, now Amazon Prime is also doing dub or fresh series, and this is one of the best examples. Very popular series. Everybody danced this on TikTok, that song, and it was released on Amazon. But now, I just find out, thanks to Nickolette, that it's on Crunchyroll. So check it out on dub. And moving on to new series from Amazon Prime to Highlight. This one is not new release, but it's fresh on the dub release. Talking about Flower and Asura.
Flower and
Asura. And when you had the character of Ling, Xiang?
So Xiang Ling, yeah. Yeah, so for a brief summary, Flower and Asura is about this girl named Hana. She joins the broadcasting club, and like, in America, we don't like, kind of like the one-to-one of broadcasting club is kind of like, I don't know what that is. But for them, it's basically like recitation of poetry. And it's kind of akin to speech, not quite speech club, not quite theater club, but kind of like an in-between, right? And it just kind of focuses on her journey of kind of this self-discovery and this love for literature, speech, poetry, etc. Right?
And definitely, it is more interesting than I thought, because I always say, anime, there's an anime for every topic. You say about
Mm.
cooking, everybody say food war. About tennis, the Prince of Tennis, and many more. Soccer. Before my times in the early 2000s was Hungry Hearts, and now is Blue Lock.
Blue Lock. Yeah.
Um, Anime about what else with any random dancing. This about dancing, about anything.
Ice
And
skating.
I think the only one we're missing might be about scuba diving. Unless we speak about there's a movie anime. I just free. Look at the movie. I just had it. But you cross. There's a movie about something like that. Which went a little bit hard, but no, it's not about scuba diving yet. That I'm aware of.
I
In this
haven't seen
case,
scuba diving.
don't jinx. I mean, I think check it out in a few months. I'm going to come with a new crazy anime about scuba diving, the deepest of the Atlantic Ocean, the city of who knows what. But
Yeah.
in this case, we're talking about, like you mentioned, the radio club,
They
and
call it like a broadcasting club.
broadcast club.
Yeah.
And I never hear when they were like, "Oh, you never hear about the national broadcasting competition?" And I was like, "National what?"
Yeah, it's not something we have here, like in America, or at least not that I've seen.
Which is kind of cruel because when you think about it, there's a lot of talent that it can grow. And I think the closer we have a college is the in the major of communication that they have like a radio station.
Mm-hmm.
They have something, but the way it happened here is different. And through that speech, we have poetry.
Mm-hmm.
Speech. And I've been thinking since this morning on my old work, there was a club. It was about, I can guess, no spelling bee, but it was about speech master, something like that. The deal about the club, it was to be able to stand up in front of people and read something, but a way that you can connect to people. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. We're seeing a character. She's reading poetry, but beyond that, and the beauty, the graphic.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
The animation is beautiful too. That show is just very cozy. I haven't watched it all the way myself, but it's just very heartwarming, fluffy, a little dramatic, but not in like a catastrophic sense, right? But it's just the life of this teenage girl trying to find the love in what she does, right?
And I'm always down for drama. And in this case, slice of life. Ooh. And in this case, episode 1, it really hit me hard. I'm doing something else and multitasking, and suddenly I hear one of the characters, which I think I had the name here. I hear Mitsuki saying in a very poetic way, not because it's hard, it is impossible. And I'm like, holy cow, that hit different. What was that? And then she said something else, like, oh, what are you doing? What you say, like, as I scavenge a potential talent, I scavenge that talent to make it. And I'm like, holy cow, she's just delivering punches on poetry. Like, what is this? It surprised me so much that definitely I had to keep watching it, because even that you're not paying attention, just by listening, you're listening a lot of poetry or reflection very well. So this, with all that said, that brings the bar now to the voice actor, because a voice actor, the animation is there, but now you have to deliver through the voice, as the voice you're relating to your character. So how about that?
Annie Wilde and Olivia Swayze, and they're doing a great job carrying that show.
It is like, I think it's the challenge for any voice actor, very underestimated, but as a voice actor, the main responsibility of the actor is to deliver the feeling, the emotion that are behind a moment. And this one, like, we're delivering the emotion. You guys have to deliver the emotion, because the show is about delivering emotion. Yeah. There's no gap for error here. So what's your experience giving your voice to Ling, Xiang Ling in this case?
Yeah, it's actually a little interesting. there are several reasons why it's a little interesting. So, first thing is she's Chinese and I'm Chinese too, which I'm really glad that Sentai Filmworks went out of their way to have that kind of authentic representation of a Chinese actor portraying a Chinese character. And that really warmed my heart that they're taking steps towards that like initiative and diversifying their talent pool and doing that authentic casting. And I can only give them flowers and applause for that, right? And you know what? It kind of resonates with me now that I think about it, because when I went into the studio, Kyle was just like, "I got a surprise for you." I'm just like, "What is it? Is it a good surprise?" He's like, "Maybe." I was like, "What is it?" And then he was like, "You get to do an accent." And I'm just like, "What kind of accent?" And then he was like, "A Chinese accent." And I was like, "Okay." And so I did not actually grow up speaking Chinese, but my dad is a Chinese immigrant. My family is well, I'm half Chinese, half Mexican. Both sides of my family are immigrants, right? And so I grew up listening mostly to English, but whenever my dad would speak with my grandma or my yin yang, they would like speak in Cantonese. And then also going out to the restaurants, you know, I only really know food in Chinese. So, but it also reminded me when I was trying to get like the accent into my tongue. I remembered that one of the only things that I remember like of my Chinese, like the language or the tongue, is like my dad taught me like these poems when I was a kid about best friends holding hands running down like the aisle with less flower girls. It's like lai lai sao open now. And it was I had to like recite that in the booth to kind of get that tongue, and it's just like I was just like, wow, poetry is so beautiful, and that kind of extended itself into my performance, and so that all that made me happy. It did make me feel closer to my culture in a way. And we were all joking in the booth, like, I hope I'm not offending my grandma. But it was really fun to portray her. And let's backtrack a little bit. Xiang as a person, she is a member of the broadcast club from another school, right? From Lilac. And the closest thing I have in my mind to like this kind of conservatory thing is when I was in high school. I did UIL one act play. So in Texas, we have like the UIL, like academic competitions. You could bring like theater. Theater was one of the competitions, right? So we would do clinics with other schools. We would see each other's performances and get feedback from coaches, each other, etc. And so that's kind of the situation that's going on here, where Hana meets Xiang. And she is very direct. She's not necessarily mean. She's a little bit spicy, but because like after Hana is trying this new recitation for the first time, Xiang is just like, that sucked. And it was just like, oh, okay, you didn't have to say it like that. But the way that I take it is that she's very honest and straightforward. Not maybe. She should, be more conscientious of her tone and delivery, right? But she's also very convicted and very attached to the craft of this recitation, right? And so I see her as somebody with a lot of drive, a lot of passion, but she has a certain idea of how to do things in her head, which might not necessarily work for everyone. And like, she is also in it for like the competition of it too. And so she's always striving to improve, always striving to be better. And, she likes to tease. She likes to be a little sassy, but she, at her heart, is a very welcoming person. Like, she's the first person that says hi to Hana at this new conservatory in this world of in Hana's world of strangers. She becomes like her first friend. And she immediately, like, even whenever she's giving her harsh criticism, it's in order to improve the recitation. And she even takes her to like previous champion, elite recitation master Pokiko, and then and asks her to help Hana with her reading and just like, so in the end, she's a very direct, very blunt person, but she has these warm and welcoming intentions, right? And so, and that's the kind of way that I resonate with her in that sense.
And Nickolette, talking about you, okay, just a very interesting background. Family Chinese and Mexican.
Yes.
Okay, so when we think about family, you have family member with too aggressive. I mean, everybody. I hate that because people call aggressive accents. There's no such thing as aggressive accent.
Oh, accent. Okay, I thought you just meant aggressive. I was like, true.
also that because Hispanic, we are very passionate, and Chinese, and don't know Chinese, but I'm sure they're also passionate too. So yeah, let's add it to the list. But on accent, people call it aggressive accent, but that's only outside home. Inside home, there's no such thing as accent aggressive.
Yeah.
So how do you end up in the voice acting when most people will fear that their accent will be a big wall that will not allow you to move forward?
Yeah, and like as you can hear, I don't necessarily have an accent, right? I grew up speaking English because that was like the common language between my parents, right? So I know a lot more Spanish than I know of Chinese. But even my parents don't really have accents. So I wouldn't really call that a hindrance on my end too. But I will say that I think nowadays accents are being a lot more embraced. So whenever I'm asked to do like a Chinese or a Latina accent, I'm able to kind of pull it out just because of my background and like, there's the feeling in the tongue, right? And I don't feel as scared or as nervous about performing like a more naturalistic accent versus, like you were saying, kind of this aggressive caricature of these accents. Because sometimes it's just like, you don't sound Mexican enough, or you don't sound Chinese enough. And it's just like, what do you want me to do? Like, finalize to, like, what? Like, come on. Or, and, just having the background, having the heritage, having the language, and that being more embraced in this world of entertainment that is progressively striving and moving towards this place of telling more diverse stories with the authentic history behind it, right? Because as actors, we are vessels for stories, right? The experiences that we have in our life, our culture, our language, our family, our experiences, they all cultivate into the performance that we give. And so, the closer, like, for example, in Flower and Asura, this is a Chinese girl, right? So I was able to kind of pull back on, like, kind of the tongue, the culture that I grew up with and what I've seen, and kind of managing that that sensitivity and the notion of her bluntness in that context. Because just in my culture and from what I've seen in my family, the Chinese side of my family, there is like a particular directness that maybe other cultures can perceive as cold. Like, for example, with my mom, and like she's very Mexican, Mexicana, and so they're very passionate people, right? They're very passionate people, and there's kind of this more direct and less emotionally charged vocabulary and sentiment of the Chinese culture and Chinese language, right? And so, it that could with her is perceived as cold sometimes, but it's a warmth. It's it's a type of information, right? And taking that context of my culture and putting that into the character and how she's blunt in a little funny way, but not in like a mean, like cold or like conniving way, but it's just kind of like matter of fact, but also, helpful and warm and trying to contribute to Hana's success. Um, I feel like I went in a loop-de-loop. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
No,
But
no.
like, just having that experience behind me, and not only with like accents, but also history, right?
Right.
And I have seen a positive change in that regard, especially in the anime world right now. And that's been very encouraging.
And I can't remember who was it. I was in this convention and they have a panel about voice acting. A very professional voice actor, and he said, "Hey, never undersell yourself because you as a person, you are already a character. There's a character that want to match with who you are now.
Yes.
For the next role, you need to work on." And I never thought about that. And talking about that, so how do you jump into the anime world? Because you already have a career in acting from high school.
Yeah. So, I had been a professional voice actor for about 4 years before I landed my first anime role. And I had been in acting since high school, right? So I'd been acting for a long time. My introduction into the anime world was a shooting star moment with my dear friend Nokotan. So, again, that was my anime debut. It was really random, and it's kind of like whenever we talk about networking will get you places, it's true, because that's how I got involved with the studio and how I was able to send in my samples and then they cast me, right? And it was really out of the blue, really random. And I think this with pretty much all opportunities, especially as a freelancer, especially as a voice actor, is like you need to build up your chops and your skills while you're waiting for that opportunity. So when that opportunity arises, you seize it and you grasp onto it and you don't let go of it. So I got pulled in by my good friend Josh Portillo, and he was like, "Hey, this studio is looking for actors. I think you'd be a good fit. It's probably an anime. I'm not promising anything. I don't know too much about it, but if you're interested, I wanted to extend this offer to you." And I was like, "Hell yeah, brother." And I was like, and like from there, it was history. And so that was my first anime. And now this year, I have kind of been ramping it up with the anime world. So I am a Houston native. So I'm located in Houston, Texas. That's my base, my hometown. And we have here, because a lot of people talk about Crunchyroll, right? And that's based in Fort Worth, Dallas, Fort Worth. But Sentai Filmworks, who does the recording and production for High Dive, is located in Houston. And so they had an open audition for the first time in a long time. And I was able to audition for that. And that's like a whole other story. It was an arduous process. I did have a panic attack because of it, but I digress. It was a really challenging experience getting through the first round and then getting to the second round, which was the first round was like a monologue, and it weeded down like the participants from like around 60 people to like 20-ish people, and then in the end Sentai took like maybe 15 people or so it like
Okay, I see why the panic attack.
It was a process, but I auditioned for them, I got on their roster, and then they started calling me in. And I love working at Sentai. It just feels like a giant family there. It's so warm. It's so cozy. I have to shout out like Paul at the front desk and Connie that helps with everything and organizing everything. And then all the directors, John, Kyle, Shannon, have been so inviting and so wonderful to work with as a creative that I don't even know what to say. I've just had the most fun and fulfilling times whenever I'm in the studio or whenever I'm called in to record for them.
And I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Sentai film because they grab those anime series that other companies they are very shy to take because they might be more edgy. Not edgy.
I mean that too.
Oh no, that too. And they grab it without fear because the truth is there's a big fans out there who watch dub and they're fan of the genre anime, but like me, we don't watch it until it's dub, and suddenly we have a big anime everybody's speaking about, but it's a little bit edgy, and we're like, crap, I'm going to miss it. And suddenly our big saver show up. Hi, that good to have it. And I'm like, finally.
I'm glad. I'm happy to hear that.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of always have been. I mean, fan of all the whoever dub anime, but I give a shout out to Haida for grabbing those theories that nobody have the guts to grab it. And I know you that. And talking about Sentai film, they have a very big release right now. Well, right now on the dub, and talking about Call of the Night Season 2, which damn season. I think I never felt a season next until this one so aggressive, because many of us we know about Call of the Night Season 1, who was very chill, relaxing.
Yes.
This one, holy cow, it went darker.
Yes.
And you had the character. The dark character of Kiku Hoshimi.
Yes.
Okay. But high level, how did you describe season 1?
Oh my goodness. Okay, season 1. Again, I have mixed feelings about season 1, just because of like the anime that I tend to like, and just kind of like I'm also stuck in this mindset of like I forget what her name is, but there's that adult in the anime who gets the massage from Nazuna and Ko, right?
Yeah.
I forget her name. Oh my gosh. But she's a person that like lives in this reality. Like she has to work. She can't escape from everyday life. She's not like Ko, who's trying to find all this freedom and lack of responsibility. And I resonate a lot with her. So that's why the anime made me feel some like conflicting feelings about just like, oh, like this kid is just making life so like frivolous. Like becoming a vampire is like it's not a joke. It's not just tee-hee fun or whatever. And it's like, and I think that is kind of the point, right? That's kind of the point of the anime, especially when we get to season 2, which kind of lays that groundwork for season 2, which might be why I feel a lot more fulfilled with the trajectory of season 2. But I like how season 1 made me think and made me feel and just made me more open to like the lady at the massage, made me more open to, reinviting this curiosity and embracing the freedom of the night and its beauty and the beauty and freedom, and not caring so much, not being tied down to responsibilities, to people, or to the way that you're supposed to be, that you can be anything, you can do anything. And that meant something to me, and that touched me, which is why I really, in the end, really liked Call of the Night. And it also made me think about like the concept of love, right? And just like, again, me looking at it like Cole as an adult, just like, girl, oh my goodness. But we get into this deeper dialogue about what love actually is or what it entails, and it's not just like a frivolous thing.
And something that resonates very strong with me on season 1, I'm a night owl. I'm a big fan of night, honestly, confession. Every time I have to do like a night shift from work, I love it. For me, the best feeling is walking outside at 3 in the morning. In a safe place, of course. I'm not going to walk in any weird place. But there's no traffic. Everybody is there, silence. You see nature. For the other nights, I went to take the trash around 2 in the morning, and I see a weird animal. I don't know the name. And I'm like, what the heck is that? I never seen it in my life, but sure, he's walking. They're going to keep walking my way too. But I'm a big fan of night, and the color on this anime, they were so the background
gorgeous,
and we're so peaceful. We wrap up season 1. We're a little bit kind of going to the darker side with the new vampires, and now they need to become a vampire now. And season 2,
but the vampires are just kind of like, they're just girls. They're in it for the drama,
Which I'm with them. I'm like, yeah. And by the way, And season 2, you have to break the peace with your character.
Kiku. Again, we're getting into spoiler territory.
Right.
If you haven't watched season 1, go watch season 1, then watch season 2. So Kiku is very interesting because she is this new vampire out of nowhere. You actually do see her in season 1, but it's very brief and very random. You see Mahiru walking with his crush, and if you go back and watch season 1, that's Kiku. She's already been introduced, but very subtly, right? So in season 2, we get introduced to her as a character and not just Mahiru's crush that he goes out to see in the middle of the night.
That's right.
And so, to be clear, like, Kiku is a very complex and very, she's a very complex person. I don't think that she is meant to be a good person, like, period.
And I have to confess, it confused me so bad, Kiku. Now I just realized Kiku and Anko confused me because when you see the opening, they look very similar. The detective Kiku. So I'm here like, who is who? And even my wife asked me, I'm lost. Who is who here? Like,
no.
And Kiku, she seems pacific until, holy cow, she brings the goosebumps when she went aggressive. So how was that experience, or being from all your character being very bubbly, colorful, and now you're technically threatening to kill, like, hey.
I was so excited. I was so excited. So first, whenever Shannon called me in to audition, I was freaking out because I looked more into the character. I did my research. Granted, I was also doing like my finals and studying for my certification exam and prepping for graduation all at the same time while I was prepping for the Kiku audition. But it was great. So because of all of that, I wasn't able to read the manga, but I was on all the subreddits. I was on like every like video thread, Wikipedia page, wiki page that I could find to just try to make sense of Kiku. Because like when I watched the episodes with her in it, she was just confusing as hell. She was like, and that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point of her, right? She's this nebulous but very powerful entity that,
Powerful.
yeah, and it's just like after you see her interact, especially with Ko, you recognize how dangerous of a woman she is, and that recontextualizes everything that you see her in, like when talking to Mahiru. Like, this woman is a little nefarious. This woman is a little bit scary. She's a little bit villainous. She's extremely manipulative. And, you know, stepping into the character of Kiku, because it's like, it's a very delicate balance, because it's like, you know, like, this is not a person, like, in my opinion, and I feel strongly about this opinion too, like, she should not be romanticized. What she's doing, her relationship with Mahiru, is not a good thing. And I don't think we really get into that in season 2, but there'll probably be a season 3. And then when season 3 hits, you're gonna see the shit show.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I was about to say, I don't know how to feel about their relationship.
Yeah.
Mahiru, I want, one part of me want to believe what it happened in almost anime, but so another part telling me, nope, it's not going to happen here. And especially when we know that I think she's the one with most offsprings, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Which is like,
Yeah.
what's
That
up?
also makes it confusing, because like nobody knows what her intentions are with Mahiru. No one knows what her intentions are, period. And right now, still, like with myself, I'm still doing that character study if we're, you know, prepping for season 3. But you know, still doing that character study of what does she really want? What is she really what is she doing? And kind of at the crux of it, she is someone who is looking for love, just like Ko.
Ichi?
And you'll have to read the manga, watch more of the anime to like really get what I'm saying. But again, it's a little confusing, because her views on like relationships, on love, on people, on humans is very distorted. And you can see that in the way that she interacts with them. Even like in her animation, like the first time I watched it, I was like, there's something wrong here. This feels odd. And like
Right.
even in her performance, it's just like she feels odd. Right? And it's just like, you know, I do want to like give a voice that's like, you know, kind of seductive, kind of like, you know, the ones that they make the fan cams of, right? The TikTok edits. But it's also like that delicate line of being like attractive and appealing, but also the underlying notion of something extremely sinister and extremely dangerous.
Right, because right now, episode 2, Ko step up for Mahiru. At one point, I'm like, yeah, I think Ko screwed up with this here, but at the same time, like, Ko saw something in her. So now I'm like, and it's hard to predict. It's very hard to predict.
Exactly.
So keep watching, guys, because
Yeah.
this character, and again, the fact that in this season there's 2 aggressive characters, the detective Anko and I lost your character, and your character for her name. I love that.
Kiku.
And
Kiku
Kiku.
Hoshimi.
We have 2 beasts on the game, which in season 1 we didn't have them. So
You didn't have a
almost
beast. Yeah.
at all. So suddenly from 0 to 2 beasts, 2 both of different side of the ring. So disaster like Timon and Pumbaa. Disaster in the way. Like, can you see the love tonight? That's how you get copyright.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
But we'll see. We'll find out with YouTube. We're going to flag this part. But moving on to wrap it up, one of the characters, also a new series, very fresh on High Dive, which I waited for the dub and finally High Dive deliver. You had the character of Lemon on 2.5 dimensional seduction.
2.5 dimensional seduction. Holy hentai! I love Jack.
He didn't. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's
Many people thought it would be like Dress Up Darling, and it's not Dress Up Darling. It's way different from the Dress Up Darling.
Yeah. Yeah, because My Dress Up Darling kind of focuses more specifically on Marine's and Gojo's like relationship and kind of their journey together as like a team and as like a couple, I guess. But 2.5 dimensional seduction is about the love and the passion of cosplaying and finding community in that. The most wholesome way to put it. There's also a lot of fan service.
It's a lot of fan service team. Like
no.
So it is like that replay on the VAR area. It is found or found. You have to go to replay. Let me see the review on the VAR. Hentai no hentai. It's not hentai. It's ecchi. So and yeah, but great series at all at the end.
Pardon?
It's a great series. I really
honestly,
the story
yeah.
it really catch me because in this case, like you were saying, it's about the love to the character that they cosplay, and there's a point where technically they make her do like, hey, we have this character that she lost the love for cosplay, just become an influencer. She's like, hey, just become an influencer. Now you're like debating like be an influencer. Any cosplay character doesn't really mean any longer to you, versus the cosplayer who really love the character.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about love to the character, you have your character of Lemon. How do you describe Lemon here?
She's funny. She's just a like if I were to boil her down to an archetype, it's literally big sister. So I'm actually the oldest of 5. So like that part of Lemon being like a sister that's really close to her siblings kind of resonates with me a lot. But so Lemon is one half of the twin duo Lemon and Lime. So a twin sister and brother. And Lemon is a girl who is very she's very bold. She's very the best way to describe it is uplifting. I would see, like in my mind, she is someone who protects, someone who defends, someone again who uplifts. And you can see that with her in her relationship with Lime. She has this more bold and more confident and this kind of more strong presenting personality versus Lime, who's a little bit more timid, a little bit more like, and it's just like they have such an immense love for each other as like brother and sister. Like you can tell that she has been with him through thick and thin, and that like, you know, Lime reveals like this insecurity about like being a boy and always like dressing up as girls in cosplay, and he has, you know, that wound of people thinking that he's gross, but you know the characters do a good job with that. But it makes you think, why does he keep cosplaying? Because he has Lemon there, because he has his sister who will engage with him and inspire him and support him to keep on doing the things that he loves and the thing that they love, and doing it together as a team, as siblings, as people who will defend each other and always support each other. And, you know, it's the sibling relationship, right? And so I see Lemon as, again, also as this very not only supportive person as a sibling, but just in general, because you see how she interacts with Revisa, or Liliel, I guess is her cosplay name. And it's just like, she doesn't disparage her. She doesn't try to like challenge her. She's just like, oh my God, I've heard so much about you. I love you. I hope we can be friends. And that energy. And that's kind of similar to the energy that I have with my voiceover community. I'm just very excited to meet people who are just as passionate about anime, about video games, about cosplay, about all these things. And just like Lemon, I feel like the solidarity with the people in my community. And I want us all to succeed, and I want us to all like do our best and all celebrate our wins and all like hone our crafts together. And like you can even hear them like or rambling on about tips on like how to make a cosplay, how they made their cosplays. And she is just I think she's a very lovely person to be around. And I hope that I am like Lemon in my own field, in my own community, this person who is always ready to be like, yay, but yeah.
And that's something I really appreciate this series, which I really love it because it was more realistic. To speak about people life, we are talking about people being cosplayer, but they are full-time employees on somewhere, so they keep their thing.
Yeah.
That feeling of community, how cosplayers help each other or how they compete. There was a lot of punchlines that even my wife, when she like, okay, that's very realistic, that's very cosplayer line to say. So it is really a must watch. You can watch it because the drama, you lesson learn cosplayer world or the ecchi.
No, it's actually very wholesome. It's actually a very wholesome anime. I've cried multiple times watching it out of like being emotional, and I'm just like, not me crying at 2.5 dimensional seduction.
And I love the involvement of mature character from the workforce, like the teacher.
The teacher.
I love how he recruit her. Oh, so I'm not going to be the club advisor. Oh, so what about this name? Everybody out. What?
That was crazy.
It's a
blackmail.
No blackmail, not at all. Just going to say, oh, so I'm a big fan of this cosplayer, and when they approved the club that he had to throw away all the magazine that they were not school I repeated, that he make like a go by.
Yeah, he was very noble about that. And I also appreciate their class president. I was like, she's really cool. She's really cool.
She was like, let's present respect to the farewell where we'll burn all this magazine. And I hear like, just put in a box and dig that box somewhere and pick it up in a few years. It's like it's called time capsule.
Yeah, I don't know why they had to like discard and throw it away. I don't know why they couldn't just take it off campus.
Hey, I know why. Because we need drama. We love the drama.
I guess it's dramatic, yeah.
So, Nickolette, before we wrap it up, the character you have so far, which one was the one as to that you feel like that it helped you to grow a lot as a voice actor?
Okay. Can I
especially for the anime world? Go ahead.
Yeah, can I have two answers?
3, 4, 5. Mi casa, tu casa.
So my first answer would definitely be Kinu, because Kinu Tanukikouji from my dear friend Nokotan, because I did not know if that was the last time I would ever be in anime, right? So it's just like, for me as an actor, and especially given the character that I had, given me as an actor and who I am, I was just like, I'm putting everything on the table, and I hope that, that it resonates, and that I hope I get this opportunity again. But if not, here it is. And then also on a technical level, it's just like the ADR skills got a lot better, especially with Tanukikouji, with her mega long speeches and matching all the mouth flaps to all of that. And just like looking back on the performance, one thing I could have improved on, which like some of my castmates and I agree, is like I really needed to enunciate more. I'm just like, oh, I failed my theater roots. But and getting back into like the practice of voice acting and really loving and falling in love with the ADR process. Now, Kiku Hoshimi is the biggest challenge that I've ever had as an actor, period. Just because of how confusing her motivations are, how confusing like her dynamic way of being. She's like this 1 second, then the next second, and it's very hard to like flip that switch on the fly. It's very hard to like get in her headspace of what is she thinking, what is she doing, because her thoughts go from here to there. And like you can see it especially with her interaction with Ko, right? Like she's like I'm gonna kill you, like from 0 to 100 super fast. But it's like you have to, like, motivation wise as an actor, you have to stay consistent, right? And with Kiku especially, and how I'm approaching her as an actor, and this makes it even more complicated, is that she views every single person differently and will talk to every single person in a specific way that's not the same. The way she talks to Mahiru is not the way she talks to Ko. Because Ko is a lot more gullible. She doesn't have to like put on the act. She's just like, But with Mahiru, she has to like, she's a lot more convincing. She's a lot more manipulative there. And the way she sees and approaches every single personality is different and customized, perfect, in the perfect way to manipulate them for her to get what she wants. And so that's hard. That's hard to like, just like workload wise as a creative, and then just also flipping the switch like constantly. And so I'm really excited to continue voicing her. And after I finish reading the manga, because I'm getting a chance to read through it, and I'm just really excited to continue with the process and hopefully not only kind of show off like this villainous, like kind of everywhere bombastic type of like person she is, but also to kind of bring this humanity to her, like, because everything doesn't make sense. But if you get to her core motivation that is actually very human in the center of it, it all makes sense. If that makes sense. And I can't tell that to you exactly right now out of spoilers and out of my own discovery of the character, right? But I'm just very excited to see where she goes and how she how she develops in the anime specifically.
Nickolette, thank you so much. For those who haven't followed you yet, with social media can they follow you?
Yay! You can follow me on my social medias. So I have X at Nickolette Kong, Instagram at Nickolette Kong VO. I now have a TikTok at Nickolette Kong VO. And then I also have my website where you can check out my stuff or buy some prints. I just posted the artwork of my print for Kiku Hoshimi from Call of the Night 2, Season 2. And you can access all of that and all the links on my website, nickolettekong.com.
Nice. And like always, guys, just go down to the description of this video. Right there, you're going to find Nickolette links, and with only one click, you're already there. And like always, guys, you know the drill. This is my time. We're begging you to subscribe, like, and share this video to whoever you think might watch anime. You need to convince somebody, your uncles, to know about anime, or believe that kids anime for kids. Yeah, show this video and then show them Call of the Night, and you want to show them some.
Maybe not the kids. Maybe not the kids.
Oh, for uncle, no kids. Uncle, no kids. Always parental advising. Follow program also with parental advising. We suggest parental discretion always. So, Nickolette, thank you so much for everything.
Thank you so much, Onyx. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure. Appreciate everything. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Sayonara.